Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I thought I would challenge myself and see if I could do a full face of glam for under $40. And it was tough, let me tell you. It was tough to find full face of products under $40. Even if you buy, cheap items like from Wet n Wild or, Elf, it adds up quickly and you don't realize it. And when I did this video, I wanted to do it based on two things. So one, I wanted to purchase items that were at full price. And what I mean by that is I didn't want to grab stuff off clearance. I didn't want to buy anything that was on sale, because to me that's not the true price. And if you were to recreate it and it wasn't on sale, in your store, then you're over your budget. So I tried really, really hard to pick things that weren't on sale. And I do know that prices vary from store to store. One example is I shopped at Target for a lot of this stuff, and then whatever I couldn't find, because Target didn't have a lot of my shades, I went to Ulta, and I noticed that the items I purchased at Target were like $2 or $3 more at Ulta. So I do know that the prices will vary from store to store. And secondly, I didn't want to go to the dollar store and just pick up a full face of product from the dollar store, because to me that's kind of cheating. I wanted it to be brands that we kind of knew, and I wanted to also pick up products that I've never tried before. So I really tried hard to stay authentic to the full glam under $40. And I challenge all of you to go out and see if you guys can one-up me. See if you can do a full face of glam under $35 or $30. I want to see how low you can go and still get a full face of glam. So this is the look I created for today's look. There were a lot of hits, a lot of misses, and some surprising products as well. So before we get started, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe down below. I would love for you to join the family here. And you want to make sure you hit that bell notification so that way you are notified every single time I upload. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So to start, I picked up the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Face Primer. It is dewy, so I'm going to try this, and this was $4.99. And I've never used this before, but it is tinted, so that's kind of interesting. And then for foundation, I picked up the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation, and this is in the shade Cream Beige. So I'm going to apply this, and then I'm going to put the Essence Camouflage Matte Concealer on top, and this is the shade Light Ivory. This one I think is going to be full coverage. It does say waterproof and tattoo covering, so I am going to try this on top of my foundation. Okay, so first impressions, since I haven't used the primer, foundation, and concealer before, the primer, it doesn't have a sticky finish, but as the day goes on, I'll see how my makeup wears, if anything starts to crack or crease. And the foundation is nice. My skin looks really pretty. It is a lighter foundation than what I'm used to. It seems to be more like a medium coverage, so I did have to go back and apply a little bit more in certain spots. As for the concealer, it is really nice. It blended out really beautifully, especially for only $3.99. However, I don't know, it says it's tattoo covering, and I don't know how true that will be, only because it is a little lighter. It's lighter than the Shape Tape. So I feel like if you were going to cover a tattoo, you would need several layers. And at that point, you might as well just spend a little extra money and get Dermablend anyway, which is, they're known for tattoo coverage. So as far as that goes, I'm not sure, but for concealer, it's really, really pretty. And I like the shade a lot. And I'm going to set my face with the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Translucent Powder. It looks like this, and this was $5.99. So I'm going to start setting my face before I crease to death. Okay, so overall, I really like the setting powder. It's very, very lightweight. It doesn't feel like I have anything on my skin. It's just really, really pretty, and it didn't leave a white cast. It's just overall, I think, a really pretty setting powder, especially for the price of only like $5.99. One thing I do like is how big the opening is, because I feel like you can really dip your beauty blender in there and you don't have to close the lid and shake it up to get more product, because you get so much product up front. So I really do like that. All right, so for bronzer, I'm gonna go in with my favorite Essence Sun Club Luminous Bronzing Powder. It is the medium toned one. And I'm just going to add a little bit of bronzer to my face. So the hardest part about trying to do a full face of makeup under $40 was the eye area. Because if I purchased, an eyeshadow palette, even affordable drugstore ones, they're at least like $5 to $9. The average price that I saw was like $9.99 to $14.99, somewhere in there, which would have put me way over my budget. And then looking for single eyeshadows was kind of tricky, because when I went to Ulta or Target, first of all, Ulta is like $2 or $3 more expensive than Target, and they even sell the same brands. So even looking for single eyeshadows, those were still pretty tricky because they weren't always the colors that are wearable. And I did do my shopping at Target, and I also went to Ulta. So even looking for single shadows was pretty hard, just because they didn't have many varieties. Some colors weren't that pigmented, so it's like, well, what's the point of buying it if there's no pigmentation? You're not going to see it anyway. So what I did is I thought I would just do a natural kind of smoky eye, but instead of using an eyeshadow primer, because that would put me over my budget, or picking up some eyeshadows, I thought I would just use my concealer as my eyeshadow base, and then I would go in with my bronzer, and then I would just continue on with my liquid liner and mascara. So I'm just going to apply a little bit of the Essence Camouflage Matte Concealer as my eyeshadow base. And then I'm going to go in and do kind of a bronzy look, and I'm going to use my bronzing powder again for that. Plain, but I do love this color as an eyeshadow. I do sometimes apply just my bronzer if I'm running out and I don't want to do a whole lot of makeup. I'll just apply this as my shadow and then do a little bit of mascara and I'm out the door. So it does work really beautifully as a bronzer and eyeshadow, and it kind of ties your look together as well. So next up, I am going to use my all-time favorite liquid eyeliner. It is the Essence Liquid Ink Eyeliner in waterproof. This is $3.99. I purchased it at Ulta. It's my all-time favorite. And then I also love the Essence I Love Extreme Volume Mascara. This is waterproof as well. They do have one that's not waterproof, but I think I've mentioned in some previous videos that I like to purchase waterproof items simply because my eyes water a lot and I don't want it to run. So these two are waterproof, but I know that they have non-waterproof options. So I'm going to apply these real quick and I will be right back. Okay, so this is kind of the look so far. I'm going to zoom you in just so you can get a closer look at the eyes, and then we will move on to lipstick and highlighter. So this is the look so far. Just a very simple everyday look. Now let's move on. And finishing up our look, the Essence highlighter was $2.49, and then the lipstick I purchased was a Wet n Wild lipstick. It's called Never Nude, and this was $1.99, and it is like a matte lipstick. So I'm just taking a little bit of setting spray and I'm going to dip into this highlighter. I'm going to do a little bit at a time just to kind of see what the pigmentation is like. Okay, so it's definitely softer than I thought. I thought it was going to be a little bit more blinding, but we will carry on. Lipstick color isn't bad. it is on the pink side, which you guys know I'm not really a fan of pinks unless they're bright fuchsia, kind of like a neon pink or a red. But the muted nude pinks I'm not really a fan of, but this one actually isn't too bad. I would wear it. It just wouldn't be my go-to. The highlighter is kind of a bummer. I thought it would be a little bit more blinding, but I am seeing a little bit of glow. So with all the products, my total came to $38.11, which is under my $40 budget. And the only bummer is I could not find lashes. I wear lashes all the time, every time I do my makeup, unless I'm going for a no makeup look because I'm running to the grocery store or just on some basic errands. But overall, giving my final thoughts on the products that I picked up. First, the primer. I like it. However, we'll see kind of how my makeup lasts throughout the day. That's kind of how I test my primers. Foundation, overall, not too bad. I would give it maybe a 7 out of 10. I do still see some of my pigmentation coming through, which I typically don't like. I am working at getting rid of the pigmentation I do have. They are from old acne scars. So when I do wear foundation, I do like to cover those. So foundation for me, definitely a 7 out of 10. Camouflage concealer, I give it like an 8.5 out of 10. Overall, I really liked how it blended out. It was a great color. It didn't crease under my eyes, didn't get cakey. However, the only reason I'm knocking a couple points off is because I think it could have been a little bit thicker of coverage, similar to the Shape Tape, especially since they are promoting it to be a tattoo covering concealer. But other than that, I think it blended out really nicely, and I'm excited to see how this wears. Setting powder from Wet n Wild, I actually really liked this product. This was a surprise for me. Typically when I do drugstore setting powders, they are very heavy, they are very chalky, they dry out my skin, and they feel very, they feel extra dry under my eyes. And typically they do leave a white cast on my skin. So for none of that to happen, I give this one a 10 out of 10 for the price. I think it is so nice. My skin feels like skin. It feels very light, not dry. And I really enjoyed that one. As for the bronzer, you know I absolutely love this. It's one of my favorites. It's one of my go-tos. So of course that one is a 10 out of 10 for me. Same goes for the eyeliner and mascara. These two are kind of my tried and trues. I absolutely love them. For the price, you honestly cannot beat it. And when I do winged liner, I always use this eyeliner because I cannot do winged liner without it. Moving on to the highlighter, this one was kind of a flop for me. I do see a little bit of glow, but it's nothing wow. It's nothing beaming, glowing. It just kind of gives you a healthy glow. So if you like a healthy glow, this would be great. But if you are looking for a true glow, then this may be a pass. So because I like a true glow, I'm giving this kind of a 5 out of 5. I do like the formula of the highlighter though. It didn't get patchy. It didn't clump up. It's not overly glittery. It blended really nicely. I just wish it had more glow to it. And then the lipstick, which was $1.99 from Wet n Wild in the shade Never Nude. I do like it. It is a matte, and I prefer a more moisturizing matte. And I know that kind of sounds weird, but for example, like the Huda Beauty matte lipsticks, when you apply them, your lips feel moisturized, but the shade of the lipstick is actually matte looking. So those are the types of matte lipsticks I prefer. The color on this one is very pretty. However, it is a little drying for me, so I give it a 7 out of 10. Alright you guys, so if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. I definitely challenge all of you to see if you can beat me and do a full face of glam under $40. Let's see if you guys can do it for $30 or $35. If you do, make sure you tag me so that I can see your final look. I would love to also see what products you used. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to my channel, and you want to make sure you hit that bell notification so that way you're notified every time I upload. And I will see you guys all very soon. Bye guys.